course, YouTube Online. It happens to be July the 17th, 2026. Today, we're going to be talking about true beauty. Now, I want you to notice something about our world today. People are obsessed with beauty and trying to look or stay young. You have, plastic surgery where people are going and, having a nose tuck or a lip tuck or a tummy tuck or some other thing that they, of course, think that will make them more attractive. You have people going to the gym and, doing physical activity to try and stay young and, doing all those things because our entire society is obsessed with youth and with beauty. And so you have people spending all their time and all their money trying to look young and trying to look beauty. But you see, sooner or later, believe it or not, you can do all that you can. I mean, when we look at Dolly Parton, for example, this is a lady who is 80 years old. And basically, she is a plastic person. Now, I'm talking physically, I'm not talking about, character. But you see, in this total obsession that people have today, they forget what true beauty is. And it's really, really sad because true beauty is actually found in character. It's found in nature. When I'm talking about nature, I'm talking about the what is going on inside. And you see, you can have someone who is absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful on the outside and, basically is ugly through and through. And in fact, there's a lot of people today, if you were to use social media as a guide for that, very quickly you would see that there are a lot of beautiful people out there, but the problem is that they are narcissistic, they are arrogant, and they are out of touch with reality. You see, beauty, true beauty, is found in the kindness that you show, the peace that you carry, and the love that you give away. That is where true beauty is found. It's the kindness that you and I show to other people. It's the peace that you carry in your life and the love that you give away. You see, today, many people equate beauty with the physical appearance. They say, hey, that's a beautiful person. Look at their face. Look at their muscles. Look at the slimness of that they have, and so they equate that, of course, with beauty. But true beauty is found in kindness, how that you treat other people. And I love the fact that Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount said simply this. He says, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. That means the kindness that you show is because you have chosen to treat people the way that you would want to be treated. You know that love is compassionate. You know that love is, of course, kind. You are looking for opportunities to be able to, help others. And you understand that it's what you give away that is a more important than what you receive. This is the true beauty that I'm talking about today. Like I said, if you follow social media and what's going on social media, everybody's trying to look, the best they can. And I'm not against looking the best that you can, but I am not happy about people when they draw it all to themselves, where their selfishness, their arrogance, and also as well their narcissistic type of attitude isolates them and actually makes them, not vulnerable when it comes to dealing with other people. You see, the reality of the situation is we all have an inward struggle from time to time. And when we become less or more vulnerable, I should say, people are more than willing to help us out. And that experience of vulnerability can actually be a blessing. It can actually be a benefit, not only for ourselves, but for others. You know, when you go through a bad experience, when you come out the other side and you find somebody who's going through something similar, you can say to them, yeah, I know exactly what you're going through, or something similar. This is what I did to be able to come out of it. And it may be just what they need to hear at the right time. I was having a conversation the other day in front of the post office with a local businessman, and he was telling me about his situation. And I was deeply, deeply interested because my mother had gone through a similar situation, and he had said, this is how I came out of it. And then I shared how my mother came out of it. And he looked, he said, I never saw that way before. He says, thank you for sharing that. And you see what that mutual experience that I had gone through with my mom and what he had gone through was, of course, giving him even better hope and greater hope as well. You see, it's the kindness that we show to others. People may never remember or may never always remember what we said, but they're always going to remember how we made them feel. And if we made them empowered, if we made them feel like they can have some hope, that there is actually good out there, then, basically we've done something wonderful. When you carry peace in your life and they look at you and say, how can you be so peaceful? You say, well, it's because I have chosen the path of peace. I've allowed peace to come into my heart. I don't want the negativity in my life. I know that negativity can come. I know that people can and will do things that, of course, may hurt me, but I am choosing not to stay hurt. I am choosing peace over anger. I am choosing peace over hostility and unforgiveness. And I choose to love and give that love away because I understand that when it is better to give than to receive. That is true beauty. Also, we need to live in such a way that people remember our heart. You see, where our heart is, that is where our treasure is. And where our treasure is, that is where our heart is. You need to not allow, unforgiveness and anger and bitterness to rule in your heart. You need to dispel it by forgiveness. That means that when someone offends, when someone hurts you and someone wrongs you, instead of keeping it inside and building a wall, you release it. You say to yourself, I am not going to allow this person to have, power in my life by carrying this unforgiveness in my heart. I am choosing the path of forgiveness instead of nursing the hurt, instead of rehearsing what was said, instead of cursing the people. I am going to, of course, disperse it and I'm going to reverse it. I am not going to live on the island of unforgiveness. And I am choosing to live on the mainland of forgiveness. That is one of the ways that you and I can walk in peace today and keep our hearts clean. We can also, as well, choose the path of optimism, not negativity. There's lots of negativity out there. You've all heard the illustration of the glass half full. The negative person says, my glass is half empty. The positive person says, wait a minute, my glass is half full. So there's still some, positivity going on there. And so that, of course, is also a choice as well. You can do what, remember that movie from, the British comedians? Look on the sunny side of life, Monty Python. So that's what we need to do. You need to look at the sunshine of life. You know, in the last month or so, we've had a lot of rain here where I live in Alberta. And, but the last few days have been very, very sunny. And I've really enjoyed that. And, but even during those rainy days, there would be times of sunshine. And I want to tell you something. I really enjoyed the sunshine. But there's something very special as well after the rain. I love the smell of the rain on the grass and on the trees. There's a unique smell. It's a cleansing that comes. And when the sun comes out and dries everything out, that beautiful odor permeates and pungents the atmosphere around you. And it's beauty. So even when, the storms of life come, and when they end, there's an aroma of cleansing. There's an aroma of sunshine. And these are wonderful illustrations about how that you and I can look at life. And you see, people will remember our hearts when we live in such a way that long after we have left the scene, they will still remember our appearance. You see, I want to live my life in such a way that people are glad that I came into their lives and not left. And that's why I love doing these types of videos. It's easy to get on there and to complain. But you see, I want to give you a little truth about social media. You see, when you go on a tirade, when you spend time complaining about a job, complaining about a situation, complaining about a person, that particular video is up there forever. And this is something to remember. When you are applying for a job, you know what people are going to do? They're going to check out your social media because they don't want to just know about, what you are, what your qualifications are for the job. They want to know what kind of person you are. And if you're up there complaining, and if you're up there, boasting or whatever it is that is negative, they're going to see that. And they may not want you to be a part of their company. And also remember, when you talk on social media or when you post something, it says something about you. So I like to do what I'm doing because the simple fact is, I want to remind people that there's a more positive side of life. I want to remind people that it's kindness and peace and love that are the qualities that we need to give and bring to people in their lives. Because a lot of people don't have an awful lot of kindness. They don't see an awful lot of peace, and they certainly don't see a lot of love. So remember, it's not what you say that people remember. It's how you made them feel and how you interacted with them. So that's my thought for you today. My name is Robert Dean Steele. Let me have a little prayer for you today. So, Father, I thank you today for what we've talked about. And I thank you today that we can show love, peace, and kindness to someone today. And I pray that we will. And I thank you for all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, again, I want to remind you that if you like what you're seeing, press the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, as well, don't forget to check out my daily shorts. Every day here on YouTube, I do videos. They're usually under 1 minute, and they are designed to encourage you, to show you something, give you something to think about, and also as well, be a positive influence in your day. So check those out as well. My name is Robert Dean Steele. I want to thank you for joining me today. Have yourself a great and godly day.